Hey everybody, Brandon with Bearded CB82. So today we're coming at you with a nice little bitty fun project, probably a couple stage project. This one's going to be a fun one. Now every so often I do like to do like a nice little bitty build project of some sort. It's nice to do on this channel. Make things, do things, and I like to get outdoors. So we're going to take, well, I've always wanted to like kind of do like a square drop trailer build or whatever, but I don't have the time or really the space to build something to that size and capacity. But what I do have is a truck with a topper and an 8-foot bed, full size. Not one of those, I got a full size truck and it's only got like a 3, 4, or 5.5 foot bed or one of those small dinky little things. I got an actual truck, full sized. So what we're going to do is something fun. Now, past year or so, I've been seeing a lot of these little bitty truck bed camper ideas and things pop up on my feed and on Instagram and YouTube. And so I kind of want to do something like this. But one of the first things I got to do, because I use it as a truck, so one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to start on cleaning out some of this crud in the back of the truck. Fishing gear, spare tarp, milk crates, and I got a barricade and a stand and a target stand right there. All that stuff's coming out, and then we're going to see what we can rearrange for that spare tire. So now that that's all cleaned out and it now looks like this, we can get started. Now, another thing that we're going to need, material. You save big money when you shop Menards. You save big money, you save big money. And I think this is what we're gonna go with. 5/8. Looks good. Well, I got out of there for just under $130 cash. So let's go over the things, shall we? All right, there we go. We've got the circular saw, furring strip, stud, another quality 1x4, 2x3s that are 4 foot, a 3/8 2x2 sheet, a 1/2 inch 4x8 sheet. So then some rags down there, the shop towels, the red ones, clamp for $10, and some screws. So there we have it, all for a total of $129.57. Handed her $130 and got 43 cents back. All right, so got a good number of things there from Menards. It was a fun little trip. Nothing like a trip to the hardware store and spending money, but we were also on a budget. Now, one of the other things about making something like a nice little bitty truck bed thing, power. I bought this. So this is a Blue Eddy AC 7768 watt hour lithium iron phosphate battery pack, AC DC powered with standard power outlet, USB ports, USB-C outs, 2 regular outlets. I did a lot of searching, did a lot of research. compiled parts list for either going solar between panel on top, charge controller, battery, uh, inverter, all those things, including accessory outlet strips, the full 9 yards. And that was no easy task. So I compiled everything, and then Amazon had their Prime Day specials. So I think this came out to $400, and everything else that I was looking at was going to cost close to the better part of $6. That's a lot of money. So I had the spare cash, and I bit the bullet. Another thing is I can use this inside of the house if I have a power outage. I did some other research on other people running this, hooking it up to standard appliances, refrigerators that are already cooled off and running, deep freeze that's already chilled and frozen and everything else, not bringing everything down from ambient. And this is capable of running either of those for around, if it's fully topped off, close to a 6-hour mark. So that can save groceries if I need to in an extreme situation. This is Iowa. We have storms. We have winters. And we just have weather. So this is a lot easier to cart around than to say oh crap, I'm out of power. And it's been 30 minutes and power is still not back on and no updates. So I can, rather than, oh well, I'll just grab a battery and I'll grab an inverter and I gotta take stuff apart, I can just grab this or leave it at home too. Severe weather in the winter, I can just store it in the closet. Or during the summer, really, really hot out, I can just store it in the closet. And I don't have to worry about this weather-wise being impacted too much. So that's part of it. That's going to be kind of the heart of that whole ordeal. Regular stuff, got plenty of screws here. Don't mind my little bitty back. I might need that, so I brought that along. I had some stuff at home I needed to do. And a bunch of other stuff from Amazon. Yoga mat for the bed. This is a gasket for around the tailgate here to seal things off, keep dust out. And this was made in the USA. Yeah, made in the USA. Extruded Solutions Inc. I got that off Amazon. Brackets, lights, a little bitty switch here. I'm gonna just have a build list down below for everybody that wants to know. I can bolt this in, and I've got a plug to power this off this, so I can have multiple other things going on at once if I need to. The other thing too is down the road, I can grab, like, I plan on getting a 100-watt portable solar panel, so I can park in the shade, move that out into the sun, charge this. I plan on getting one of those little bitty fridges too down the road. I tried to get one sponsored. Apparently I'm not their type. But it is what it is. But I do plan on getting a refrigerator because those are handy. So when I'm driving someplace, I can keep it plugged in the cab. And when I get to someplace, I can plug it into this. And I don't have to worry about ice. That can save you a lot of trips, a lot of money, and a lot of mess. So we're going to have some fun. We're getting to building. Now, one other little upgrade this truck's going to get is use of actual clamps, topper clamps. Previous owner of this truck has bolts, 6 of them going all the way along and in the corners. But I got a little bit too much gap between each side right here to where it just leaves a little bit to be desired. And I get a little bit of air gap here, which doesn't help with gravel and stuff like that. So we're going to loosen those up, install these guys. Yeah, I got them on Amazon too. It's like $15 or something like that for 6. And we're going to draw this in just a little bit to get it closer. Make sure our topper gap has a better seal around it. And then with that other tailgate gasket that's going to come in the seam here, that should give us a relatively airtight gasket and keep a lot of dust out. All right, so now that I got that kind of tied together, sorted up, work on this 1/2 inch sheet of plywood here. Everybody's going to say, oh, well, what about 5/8 or what about 3/4 inch plywood? That cost a lot more. And I did the math, and I've got 4 of these that I've salvaged, and I've got some other stuff that I've salvaged too off of other things. Used to be a bed frame, but I can fit a 1x in here. Then I have a foldable leg. Because I plan on making this, it's going to be 6'4" by 30 inches, and I'm going to split that in half, so it's going to be 15 and 15, so I can fold it over and still make use of a lot of this bed space, since I still do a lot of things like ice fishing. I can throw my whole ice fishing sled, should be able to, when I'm done, and I've got measurements on cardboard box back there. I was figuring stuff out, so I just started drawing it on a cardboard box. So I got 4 of these that I can lay in between that'll add extra support. It's a lot easier to add some of the 2x or 1x on here for ledges and support strips as well. So it'll be pretty simple, pretty cut and dry. And yeah, it'll fold out of the way. So 1/2 inch plywood, we're gonna get that ripped down. And I've got this. A lot of people are going to say, well, I should have got one of those Craig guide saws or something like that. This was $25. So we're going to see how this runs. We might even see if we can do a cut with it on using the battery over there. So let's try that. All right, got my line snapped. Chalk line. Yeah, I don't have any fancy lasers and shit. The AC 70, 94%. Saw. I'm gonna get an extension cord and then I'll plug all this together. Okay, so this will be the second day of the build, cutting into this video. I got a couple of things set up. I got the along one side and then the other for the bed. Got the bed pieces cut. I did have to realization after the fact when I started getting material cut and everything sized out was I was going to need some more lumber. So this morning I went to Menards and I got several more pieces here, another 2x4, a couple of 2x2s, some 1x3s, another furring strip of 1x2. While I was there, I was checking out rugs. Something to put on the rubber here, go across or in between, what have you. Well, originally I was starting to check out because they have those rug bed liners. But since nobody buys real trucks anymore and nobody uses them as real trucks anymore, the only thing I could find was for 6-foot beds, the short beds. Yes, short. And nobody had anything for 8-foot, hence why I had to get that gasket strip that's going to go all the way around, seal things off for one, rather than something that goes clear up to the bed. Though this bed does have a rubber liner, or the tailgate, tailgate. Tailgate does have a rubber liner on here as well. They had made in the USA adhesive rug pieces, and I picked up 7 of those, and that should be enough to cover the bed. It'll do a couple of things. Raises it up just a hair, so when I put the yoga mat on, I'll have a more smooth surface, especially with the hinges, since it's going to be a hinging bed, so I can still utilize the bed of the truck itself. And then those were like 89 cents a piece there at Menards, and these were like $1.89. These short pieces of regular carpet, because to get a rug that covered the same amount of area was like between, I think the cheapest was around $7 or $8. on up to $15, depending on how thick and all the other stuff you wanted it. And also made in the USA. So I've got a couple pieces of rug here that I can just pick up, move out of the way, what have you, lay down in between. Soft stuff for my foot. I might get a cheap something else later on as well to cover more stuff, but we'll see what we got. And since I left, I always carry the Snap-on Blue Point razor knives, the LBUK. I left that at home, and even though I've got 3 more razor knives there at home, 1 inside my apartment and 2 more, maybe 3 more in my toolbox, the green Masterforce one. That doesn't really leave me anything here to trim these out, so I did have to spend like $3 or $4 on a Masterforce utility knife. So lifetime warranty on it, so if I break it, and it came with 3 blades, but blades obviously aren't warranted. But if I break it, just go over to Menards and get a new one. It's right there. So Menards is way closer than any of the Harbor Freights in the town, and I got like 3 Menards that are closer in driving distance than that. I'll go to Menards. So, and I picked up a couple small pieces of 1x3 and some 1x4s of their, they call it off-end cuts, in case I need to do something with these guys. And it's actually really nice wood. So I'll take these and definitely do something with them. So I think those are all select pine. Yeah. So I'll take those cut off. Q air compressor for all of you that missed it. So anyways, I've got my sawhorses set up. I need to grab all my stuff, get it back out, and start refiguring and cutting some more of these 2x furring strips up and get the bed piece together. So, gonna have these cross pieces put in. I cut 5 of the 14 inchers. I might cut a few more for in between here on each end. And then I plan on bolting it down to this 2x4. If I have to, I can just unbolt, because I do have a hitch over there, or tie down restraint that's built into the truck that I can just tie into, which is no problem. Then I can just remove this as one piece if I really need the extra space. So I've got it kind of clamped down, squared up, and I will say these Masterforce clamps, I got the other one holding it down right here, way better than the tool shop ones. The tool shop ones are pretty cheap. I got those a while back for some other small projects, but the Masterforce ones, way better. I need to pick up a couple more of those here over time. But worth it. Definitely worth it, especially when you consider, yeah, the Irwin ones are probably some of the best. But when cost is a factor and you need something that works, I'd probably go with the Masterforce ones or something equivalent. Probably stay away from the tool shop ones. I know I will from here on out. It's just the clamping force on them is just nowhere near what the Masterforce or the Irwins are. So I'm going to get to screwing these down and get a few more of those in. We'll get things squared up, shored up, and go from there. All right, gotta cut another one, 10 3/8 on this side. Then I'll do should be the same measurement on that side. Let me get 2 more of these cut. We'll be rocking at it. All right, so I took a little snack break. Now, on this guy, as you can see, here's the whole bed. Like I said, it's going to be hinging over, so I'll have a one piece on here. Gonna have a one by, maybe one of the 2x1s all the way across up here, just for extra support, and it's something extra to bolt to when I go to hinge it, because I'll have a hinge right about up here, right about in here, and then down there as well. So yes, I know it's a little shaky, but one thing I noticed, and so that kind of got me worried a little bit. So I retook all my measurements. Everything is as it should be, and it's the 2x4 in the back. Wound up getting a little twist to it because this is a week later from the first video, and everything sat in the back of my truck. I know, not the best options, but you work with what you got. So I'm hoping, otherwise I just might have to shim one end, hoping that everything should come out okay. So sometimes not everything works as you planned, but you work with what you got, which is what this video is about. So have fun, build shit. That should work. Everything's right. That back corner, I just might have to shim up just a hair, but we'll get up the plywood up here, so that way I can take a measurement, cut around this radius here, and then to cut into the other corner at the other end. And yeah, we'll go from there, because then it should fit just right up flush with this. If I got to add some extra backing behind these for the hinges to bolt into, I will. I'll cross that road when we get there, so to speak. So I've got plenty of small scrap pieces that work just fine. So yeah, let's get to it. Alright, so what we're doing here is the other half. We already got the one side built already. This is going to be the other half. These are the furring strips that I was talking about. I got one across this. This will be the hinge side right here. So the hinges will be on the opposite end of this. I just wanted something more to screw the hinges into, since they will be supporting some weight. And yes, I know this hangs out a little bit. That doesn't bother me, because this will be folded over and that'll be out of the way. But essentially what I'm going to do is have this, so this will be out. I've got 4 of these, so one's going to go on this 1x2 furring strip, which will work great. I've got screws over in the Amazon box over there. These came off of an old, I've been holding on to these for a while, old bed frame. Been waiting for something to come along to where I can use them, and this is just the thing. What I can do is when I go to fold it down, I can just pull those out, and then I have plenty of support on this half of the bed. And like I said, for storage, boom, folds over onto itself, and it opens up the rest of the bed, with the exception of where the main frame of the box is going to be sitting. So saving space, still utilize the truck, still have it to where if I need to, I can just pull the whole thing out if I really need to, which hopefully I don't. But that and adds a little bit more support for the inside for as well. So tuning fork. So I'm going to get the rest of this because I'm screwing in from the other side, which would be the top, and need to get that done. And actually, it'll go this way because this will be the outer edge. So yeah, that'll be the hinge side. All right, time to get to it. All right, so as I said before, in a J.C. Smith fashion, so as you can see, I've got my 4 legs. I might have to figure out something for this corner and that corner over there. It's got a little bit of droop, but I'm going to put a cross all the way across that back there. That'll be towards the front of the bed. But simple enough. I've got those installed. I just need to install my hinges. And then you can just fold her right over, and then stick her back up in there. Okay, so got the hinges installed, and then I got this 1x2 cedar strip that looks really nice, except for where I accidentally grabbed too long of a screw because I screwed this in from the underside. Went through. That kind of pissed me off a little bit. But put 73 inches down this side, one on this side, and then I got another strip that's also 11.5 inches. Need to get this back up in the truck, do some measuring, but essentially this is what it's going to do. And that is kind of the game plan. So you can go set your legs all out and just bam. Now I know, yes, the hinges are sticking up a little bit, hence the yoga mat and hence the carpet. So the carpet's going to get laid. I need to, at least something is, wipe all this off, make sure I got all the sawdust and everything off, and then I'm going to start laying carpet. Or again, at least it's something that's getting laid. Peel and stick. Simple enough, and then if it doesn't stay down and starts to come up, well, I'll just have to run to the auto parts store or see if what Menards has for some adhesive spray and go from there. But pretty simple process. It'll add a little bit of extra insulation, and then like I said, yoga mat, and then another camping mat on top of that. It's going to be, I won't hardly probably notice those at all. So you're still going to have somebody else out there that's going to be like, oh, you should have done a flush mounted piano hinge the whole way down. You build one yourself that way, and I'll build mine my way.